release, and we're about to react to a whole in-depth breakdown of it. The video is by Dangerville, and I'm just excited. I mean, look what's on the screen right now. The brand new Godzilla.
Have a look at any tiny things
Personally,
you might have missed.
I think it looks amazing. Let me know what you guys think about the brand new Godzilla in the comments. That's the only thing I have like a gripe about. Is that run?
The trailer opens up with a
I don't know about Godzilla's run right there, but
to detect
everything
earthquakes
else
in a nearby vicinity.
beautiful.
As you can see, based on the reading,
Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Haywire, which tells us that a Titan is about to rise.
Oh,
Next up,
it's
we
about
cut
to rise,
an island
all right.
which
A lot of
appears
Titans.
to have a hollow
few
earth
of
tunnel, and obviously this is Monarch that's cornered it off so no one gets sucked
I never even
into the
noticed that
hollow
in the
earth.
trailer. I don't know
This could
why.
be an entrance
I was
that
more
Monarch
focused on the
uses
monsters.
to actually travel to the hollow earth. Next up, we get a beautiful shot of the pyramids, which actually gives me heavy 2001 vibes. And then
2001 vibes? Okay, Godzilla actually gives me 2000s vibes, if you know what I'm saying.
Shaking by the
Millennium
pyramids,
Godzilla?
But then something starts digging up. We see the lights from
It's
a
the pink
hollow
that
earth
does it for me.
tunnel,
I like it.
And then a primate's hand reaches
My boy
out.
Kong
and
with the
what is that on
Infinity
it?
Gauntlet.
It looks like it's an actual cast.
I don't know what it is.
Or perhaps even power armor
It could
to
be a
give him
cast.
an even more powerful punch.
Cast
and
or
obviously
power
this
armor?
monkey
What do you
hand
guys
belongs
think?
to that of Kong.
By the way, if you
And
haven't
the
yet, hit that
leaks
like
have
button
anything
for
to say
it.
about it, he's about
I
to
love you. I
fight
appreciate it.
another giant monster. But I won't get into that because the trailer doesn't actually show it. But we do know something
Wait,
epic
another
is going to
monster? Hold
happen in
up.
this scene. Next up, we cut to a
Trailer
beautiful
only
shot
gave
of
us
the
so
hollow
much,
earth,
you know.
which is giving me heavy Lord of the Rings vibes. I absolutely
Lord of the
love
Rings?
this scenery. And in the foreground, you can see some leaf wings, which we
Yep,
also
yep,
saw in Godzilla vs. Kong and Kong Skull Island. And in the background there, that
Kong
metal
was
dot you
chilling
can see
big
is
time
actually
there.
Kong, obviously on a mission for something. And behind him, you can
Why does
see
he look
he's being
tiny?
chased by a horde of wolf monsters.
Why does he look
And I have
tiny
reason
up
to
there
believe
in
these
those-
are death jackals?
The
from
death jackals,
comic
that's what it is.
Birth of Kong.
They're not as big
So
as
it's nice
Kong,
to see
right?
some crossover there.
No.
Makes it feel like a real living
Why do they kinda look
universe.
like it in that?
Next up, we get an amazing shot of
Maybe
Kong
they're
jumping
huge.
over a cliff, and he just looks amazing. Like,
He does
I
look
mean,
really
his
good.
design
Looks
is
the
mostly
same,
the
but
same as Godzilla
longer
vs.
hair.
Kong, but he seems to have more hair on his shoulders, which kind of make him look like royalty. And his beard has obviously
royalty.
been made longer, which I think was a decision made by Adam Wingard, who now has a big Kong beard himself.
That's
and
it.
in the shot, we see something really
He modeled
interesting.
Kong
and that's
after
this
his beard.
vehicle thing. I can't tell if it's a kind of drone.
Bro, if those
but it
things
looks
are
to be
manned,
powered by some kind of
they're gonna be in some
energy
deep
that, I mean, it doesn't
trash,
look like anything I've
alright?
seen before.
Deep trash.
If anything, this thing looks like something you'd find on Halo. Like, it looks like the Sentinel.
That does look
I
exactly
believe
like
this
that.
may be a next evolution of the Heave, which we saw in Godzilla
Then it's gonna be
vs.
manned.
Kong, which makes sense. It seems
It
that
even, like,
every
it was in the
film is going
forest, right? Did some
vastly
type
into
of-
the future in terms of
where you saw, like, the
technology.
main
So
character?
this is just the next
Or
step
one of the main
following
characters.
Godzilla vs. Kong, which I already thought had pretty advanced technology. I didn't know how they'd make it even more advanced, but here we are. The
Hey,
reason I think
they
this
be
is a manned
advancing, bro.
vehicle and not a drone is because of this next shot where we see the doors opening.
This is
to
what
the
I was
middle
talking
of
about
a
right here. When it
jungle.
opened,
and in the
and then the main
vehicle is
characters.
Dr. Eileen Andrews,
Who's got
with
plot
a new
armor, so
character
she's
which
gonna be
has
okay.
reportedly been called
The new character,
Trapper,
I don't know
played
who
by
he
Dan
is.
Stevens, and I
Trapper?
assume
Is that what he
just off
said?
camera is Gia. And then we get this really eerie
Oh, this was
shot where
adorable.
Kong's in a really
I thought
misty
this was gonna be the
location,
villain.
and Kong has his axe ready, which made me think he was about to have an encounter with the Scar King. the main
exactly.
antagonist
I
of the
thought that's
film.
what it was.
But no, it actually is a young
It's a
Kong,
baby!
or at least a young primate that looks
Kinda
to have
looks like-
some relation to Kong's species. And just look at him, he's
Kinda
so
looks like
cute.
Scar King's
Kong's
son, you know
heart
what I'm saying?
softens
He's got that
immediately.
orange fur.
This Diddy Kong appears to be
Diddy
actually
Kong?
closely related to the Scar King that we
It does
saw
look a
from
lot
the
like him.
title reveal a few months ago. 'Cause
As
you can
far as
see
the
he's
color
obviously
goes,
a lot
you know,
more orange,
got that
and
orange.
his face shape is a lot less gorilla-like and more orangutan-like.
It
Next
is.
up, we get another really Lord of the Rings-like shot where we see our lead characters
What is this Lord of the
trekking
Rings
through the jungle,
comparison?
and the scenery is just wild. It's very clear they actually shot this on location, which makes it all feel real. And
Why
next
do I
up, we
feel
get
like he's
Dan
getting bodied?
Stevens,
I don't know.
which I've heard is actually a really fun character in the film, and they talk about how this handprint wasn't left by Kong, but was in fact left by something
blood
bigger.
handprint,
I believe
huh?
Legendary is actually stating that this handprint from Kong Skull Island is actually
Is it the same
Scar
one?
King, the antagonist of the film.
So
And then
he's
we
been
get
there for
Kong
a
using
while
his
then,
axe
if it's
to
the same one.
fall down this chamber
Not the
into
same
what
one, but,
looks
you know,
like
same
a crystal
whatever.
cave. And this purple
And here we go.
crystal
The
will
pink-
actually become relevant
the
later
pink
on in the
crystals,
trailer.
bro.
So remember that.
Looks
Purple
so good.
crystals. And in this cave, we actually see the skull of another Kong. In fact, there's several.
That's
This
Scar
looks
King's
like
food,
the
apparently.
dungeon of where some gigantic titan
Imagine
lives,
if he was just eating
and
them.
it's been eating the Kongs. It could, of course, be another titan entirely.
Nah, I'm good
but
off that.
what's more haunting to think about is what if the Scar King was a cannibal and he's hungry for his next meal.
Exactly.
Which is
That is
obviously
terrifying to
really
think about.
scary. And then we get one of the
If
most
this man's just
incredible
eating
shots in the
people?
trailer, and that it's this wide shot of what looks like somewhere that's similar to Kong's temple that we saw in Godzilla
That's
vs.
where all
Kong.
those, like, gorillas
Except
were,
this
right? All the
is
Kong
filled
family?
with other Kongs. I can't tell if this is a flashback or if this is something happening now in the film's timeline.
I don't think it's a
I'm leaning
flashback.
more towards this happening now.
'Cause we
in
saw the
main
villain in that
story's
area too,
timeline,
right?
Mainly because of this next shot.
So I think
There it
he's gonna
is, this
demolish
Scar
them.
King with his bright blue
And
eyes,
then, like, maybe make
looking
Kong
super menacing.
super
It makes
angry,
me
and then
think
they
the
fight.
Scar King is gonna
Something
hunt
like that.
down these Kongs, which is gonna really piss off our
Okay,
Kong.
well,
Next up
exactly.
we
That's
have,
exactly
and
what
I'm
I was
gonna say this
saying.
a lot, another
We're having
really
the same
beautiful
sort of
shot
thoughts
the
in this
Hollow
react-
Earth,
or in
and
this,
in it, we see
breakdown.
packs of what seems to be death
Okay, the
jackals,
death jackals. You can
and
see
they
the
seem to
trees
be
at the bottom,
chasing
too.
Kong, which means they
Those
could
things
be
look
the Scar
huge,
King's
bro.
attack dogs, so they can kind of defend his territory.
Yeah, look
Because
at the
it actually
size of
looks
those
like
things,
the
dude.
location he's going to is where he finds the young
Ginormous.
Kong, which obviously I think is related to the Scar King. So this could be like Kong on the rescue kind of thing.
Yeah, he's
Now,
gotta
this
be
next
related.
shot is insane because it looks like something you'd see in Godzilla vs. Megalon. We seem to stumble across
Explain.
a civilization of Hollow Earth Iwis, which I actually theorized about.
We're
probably
getting
like
close
2
to seeing
years
that
ago.
brand new Godzilla, by the
And
way.
eventually
I'm
come
hyped.
across a
I'm
vast
so hyped.
civilization related to the
The
Iwi
movie's gonna be
tribe
so
from
good, bro.
Skull
So
Island.
good.
But these people have a much more vast and developed city built from thousands of years of inhabitants in the Hollow Earth.
And these
My
are
man
a
drew
lot
out a
more
picture,
advanced than the
okay?
ones we
I
saw
like
on
it.
Skull Island. They look to have kind of Aztec architecture mixed with Egyptian, since they all look like pyramids.
It looks
and in
sick.
the back we see
Looks
them
sick.
utilizing some kind of Hollow Earth energy. So this is just incredible. It kind of blows my mind that this is the same universe as Godzilla 2014. But at this point, I've just gone, oh, I'm ready. It's a roller coaster. Just do what you want.
That's what
And
I'm saying.
My God,
I'm ready.
are they
Do
doing
what you
they
want.
because
I
this
don't care.
is
I'm ready to see it.
insane. And here we see
Other than the
Bernie
run, I
back
hope they
from
changed
Godzilla
the
vs.
run, bro.
Kong, and in the
Godzilla got
background
beefy
is
arms
Dan
somehow.
Stevens'
I don't know how
character.
it happened.
It seems like they've kind of recruited each other to go on this mission, and in
I
the
remember
background
my
we
man.
see the Iwis have actually got weapons. So I don't think they're meant to be there.
Is
It
Millie
seems like
Bobby
they
in this one as
snuck in
well, or
without
no?
Monarch's permission. That would
Which
be
one
a
was she in,
very Bernie
2014?
thing to do. And I don't even know what to make of this. It looks like a staircase similar to
What
what
was
we
in
actually
2021?
saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
I don't forgot. I don't know.
Sarazawa climbed that humongous staircase towards Godzilla, where he was resting to kind of replenish his radiation. So at the top,
Here we go, bro.
they could be assisting Godzilla.
Come on, show
Next
us
up,
that
we get
man.
a shot of where I think is Italy, where some kind
Italy?
of station
There's a Brazilian flag in the top right. Did you all see
Everyone else
that?
kind of panics and runs away.
There was a
which is
Brazilian
great.
flag
One of the
there. That's
characters
Brazil,
says
big
Kong
fella.
can't stop this on his own, obviously
My
implying
guess.
that
I don't
the
know why
Scar
they're,
King is planning
whatever.
to destroy the planet, or at least take over the surface, and that the Scar King is simply too powerful to be taken alone.
I mean, he is
Chances
too
are
powerful.
that
I don't know if y'all
cyborg
seen the
arm
trailer,
we see Kong wearing,
but he's got, like,
he
some
got
weapon.
after he broke his arm.
It was like a
in
spine
fight
or
against
something
the
like that.
Scar King. And then we see Geo reaching into this energy source, and something's happening with it, which could
Yeah,
just
what
be a
was
reaction
happening to it?
from whatever radiation this is, but it could be implying something
That
more.
thing is so
We'll
sick.
have to wait and see to
Here we
find out
go.
what that is. And then
We're about to
cut
see Godzilla.
some kind of Arctic location.
This is one of my
and
favorite
Eileen
looks
Andrews
of
says
Godzilla, I'm
he
not
won't
gonna
be
lie.
alone. And the camera
The
zooms
pink?
in, and we get a look at Godzilla hibernating in some
I'm getting
crystal
hyped.
cave.
I'm getting
and
hyped.
underneath him, we see the same purple
Godzilla's
energy
new
that
evolution.
we saw
We're gonna
in that
react to
earlier
something
shot.
tomorrow
So clearly this is kind of like
about,
a source
you know, a kind of
radiation,
breakdown of
which
the
gives me
evolution.
Energon
So stay
vibes
tuned
from
for that.
Beast Wars, which I'm not against. And it's already been confirmed that Godzilla is using this radiation to evolve.
Yeah,
to
you heard that
become
right.
even more
To
powerful
evolve.
to go against the Hollow Earth Titans that threaten the surface.
I'm
And then
hyped.
Godzilla starts
Look at
waking
that,
up.
bro.
Instead of the classic blue energy which we're used to,
Got the pink.
now it's this kind of magenta, which I've
Pink
got to say
magenta,
looks
yeah.
really nice. It makes sense since it's all over the promotional
Bro, it
material.
looks so
we
good.
see him crashing
So
out of the
good.
glacier, which reminds me of King Kong versus Godzilla. So that's a nice reference. And then he roars into the
Oh,
sky.
reference.
And clearly
Ooh.
Monarch anticipated this because there's helicopters circling him.
That is
now,
so
I will
sick.
say the CGI in this shot is atrocious. It's not very good.
I wouldn't say
Like, it
atrocious
looks like
by
something
any
someone
means.
made on SFM, but it is still unfinished, so
I
I'm
think
going
it
to give
looks
it the
sick.
benefit of the
How
doubt
does that
for
look
now.
atrocious?
And if there's any reason that the CGI isn't great, it's probably
Let me know what you
because
guys
we're
think.
gonna get more monster
I like
action in this
movies in
film
general,
than
so I
any
don't-
other MonsterVerse film.
I'm
So it
not
seems
very,
like they're trying
like-
to sacrifice some of the effects to get more
I don't say bad
monsters
things
out
about
there,
movies a
which,
lot.
you know what? I'm not
I love
against.
movies.
Godzilla -1
Especially
didn't have the best
Godzilla's.
effects, but my god, did it utilize it well. And Godzilla's design here is... I really like it, guys. I mean, I've seen
It's
some toys,
amazing. It
and
looks
the
so
toys
sick.
look awful. They don't look very good.
I love
But
the pink
spines,
spikes, bro.
The head,
Ooh.
the fact he's more spiky, kind of like Millennium Godzilla. It looks
Exactly, that's what I said
amazing.
earlier.
Really
It
like
looks a lot like Millennium.
I'm actually gonna say I almost like it more than the King of the Monsters design.
Same,
Jared
same.
Krzyzewski did an amazing job here. And then we get some more shots of the Scar King.
So good.
And then, oh my god.
And there he
look
is,
how
the villain.
good he is. He looks a lot like Cobra from that rebooted Planet of the Apes film.
He
which I
does kind of
really
look like. I
That's
didn't even think about
exactly
that.
The kind of
I
vibe
thought he looked like
wanted for this
somebody.
character. And on
Or
his
some
shoulder,
villain.
we see what looks to be a bone weapon. And I think this
It's like
is
a
actually going to
bone-
be the rumored whip. So
Okay,
we're gonna have
he's
to
got
wait
a
and see
bone
how
whip.
that actually works against Godzilla.
So it
I don't
had
know
to
how
have
a
been the
bone whip's
spine
gonna
or
hurt him,
something
but I guess we'll see.
big.
And
I
then
don't
we
know.
get a continuation of that one shot
Some
from
big
earlier
monster.
where we see all the Kongs stood around, and then the Scar King jumps down, and we get our
And that
first
roar.
good look at his face. And look at him. He's bald.
He is scary. He's bald.
But seriously, I really like the way he looks. He's really different. This is going to be unlike
He
any
is different.
enemy
He looks
Titan
so-
we've had in a Godzilla
he
film.
looks evil.
He's going to be smarter,
Look at that
more
eyeball.
ruthless, and more evil than any other Titan the King of the Monsters has stood
I'm hyped.
against. So I really can't wait to see what he does.
How'd they throw the
This
cheeks
shot
in my face,
transitions
by the
to
way?
Another shot of him roaring at where I think
Look
is
how
Brazil.
big he is,
This looks
too.
to be the
Those are
same
people.
shot that we saw filming a few
Now
years
he just
back
said
where
it's in
people
Brazil.
started running away from the ocean. Now
It's
this
been the
was
same.
shot in Australia as a stand-in for Brazil. So does this mean the final fight between the Scar King, Godzilla, and Kong is gonna be in Brazil?
They're gonna be in Brazil,
They actually
taking a
released
nice
new
vacation.
poster for Godzilla Kong, which actually shows our Titans teaming up. And where are they? In Brazil. So maybe this
Yes,
is where the actual
yes.
film's going to conclude. And then we get a great shot of Godzilla
We're gonna get a fight on the
learning how to
beach.
use
Oh
his
my-
new
I
atomic
love that,
breath.
dude.
We see his cells kind of still mutating. There's kind of like a biological factor here.
It's
so he's
so
kind of getting used to his
beautiful.
new body and
Look
new
at him peeking
powers,
around.
which is going to be way
He's
more
like, I'm about to
powerful than
body
his previous
somebody.
atomic breath, which I don't know how he's going to be. He already shot to the Earth's core, so this is going to be
Right.
incredible to watch. He
So
looks
if that's
back
even
like,
more powerful-
oh yeah. So I really like how they're giving personality to Godzilla
So
without
sick,
going
man.
overboard. It still feels really in character for him. And then we cut to a close shot of Kong with his big old beard. I just want to scratch it. And then Godzilla blasting his atomic breath, and it looks super powerful. And then
Man,
the money
it's
shot.
gonna be so
Godzilla
good.
climbing out of the ground, and
This
Kong
is what I was a
falling from
little
the
bit
ceiling, and then they
about.
run
It's the
together,
run for me. I don't know.
roaring straight
It
at
just looks
whatever
super
enemy
fast.
stands
Godzilla's
before
never
them.
looked,
Now I feel like this
you know,
isn't going to be the Scar King, mainly because this doesn't look like his hideaway. These crystals
different
don't really
hideaway?
match his vibe. In the title reveal, we see he has more
What's
of a,
that
like
one
a volcanic
villain
throne room. but he could
kaiju
have
that we've
joined
been
another
seeing
monster for
that's
this
kind of
fight.
rumored
It
to
has
be with Scar
something
King?
big, considering they're both teaming up to
I forgot
take
what
it
his name
down.
is.
I'm not really a huge fan on how fast the monsters run here. They don't really
Yeah,
feel
true.
heavy
That's
or
what I'm saying.
massive. They just kind of feel like CGI creatures. But this is the Hollow Earth, so who knows how physics is affected here?
That's
Like,
true,
the
too.
gravity could be lower.
It could be
or the
gravity,
air
and you could be
resistance
running
lower,
differently
or
on
whatever
Earth.
excuse they can give to make them run faster. Either way, they look really angry. And also, just look how big Godzilla's arms here. This
That's
guy's
what I
gonna
was
start
saying,
punching,
bro.
Just mark my words.
He looks like he's
And
been
then
doing
the
some
title card,
curls, bro.
Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. But before it's over, we get a last shot of
And then we
Diddy
see Baby Kong
which
when he-
I'm sure has a name, but we'll figure that out later. And then Bernie says, "Is that a mini Kong?" As they look up at
Mini
him
Kong,
doing
he's
that
adorable.
little chest
Yep.
bump that Kong does, which is really cute. Clearly, Kong's been teaching
I
him a
love
thing
it.
or two. So that was the trailer breakdown. Wow, this trailer,
I love it,
guys,
bro. Let
it's
me know in the
so
comments if you're
overwhelming.
excited.
I didn't think they could make the MonsterVerse more
I am.
crazy.
I am.
but
I'm
they've
hyped up.
Gone and done it. This looks next level.
It
Now,
does.
There's obviously a lot of unanswered questions with this trailer, like where did this baby Kong come
Well,
from?
I'm sure that's
And
what they
is
wanted.
Gia's
A lot of
purpose with
unanswered
this
questions
Hollow Earth
to
civilization.
throw out there.
We can of course theorize and speculate about what any of these things could be, but only time will tell.
Only time will tell indeed. Let me know what you guys thought about the trailer in the comments. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching with me. I love ya. Goodbye.